Hey everybody, this is No Filter, a Nintendo podcast, and here's my review for Soulblight for Nintendo Switch. Soulblight comes to us from My Next Games, and it is a roguelike action RPG, kind of reminiscent to games like Diablo, with chests and customizing your equipment, looting, and just attacking enemies by essentially just hitting the A button kind of a thing, but it's a little bit different, and honestly, it's not nearly as good. However, for this review, I will start off with some of the good things. First off, I think the visual style itself, is actually really appealing. I really do like this. What it does is it actually, one of the options you have is having a fisheye lens. So essentially, this is a top-down view. You're basically looking straight down onto it. There's no angle of how you're looking. So it can actually be a little bit jarring. It's not like it's a isometric view. It's literally top-down action RPG like this, but with 3D kind of worlds and stuff like that. So it's a little bit jarring, and the fisheye lens effect is kind of interesting, but it really does kind of create a cool, unique viewpoint into the game that you haven't really quite played before. So I actually kind of enjoyed that. The game itself, quoting some of my favorite podcasters out there, Radio Free Nintendo, this is a competent game made by professionals kind of a thing, right? So like everything about the game is, there's no issues, glitches, no lagging, none of that kind of crap. I just don't think the design is quite there yet. I feel like a game like this with a little bit of tweaking could be something special, but as it is right now, I just could not get into it. And this is coming from a person who really likes roguelike games. And I'll tell you why that this roguelike was not really grabbing its, wasn't really catching me. So for this game, it does have a few really cool ideas as far as how you're progressing and how you kind of increase your stats and stuff like that. But I'm not really going to get into that. I'm going to kind of go about how they could have made this better. The roguelike aspect here. Part of making a good roguelike game, I find, is having push to play again and again and again. Because you will die, and you will die in this game. It is very, very tough. But every time you die, it doesn't feel like you're really gaining too much. There are chests that you can have in basically this hub world in between every rerun you have. You basically put down some of your items and stuff like that into these chests that can be used later in further runs, but that just seems like so much more effort, whereas you would think for a roguelike, you just kind of want to jump into the next run, right? And then already have it automatically kind of improve your character, whether it be you learning different abilities or you learning how to play the game better. Whereas so much of what this game seemed like it was doing is just kind of you're just going into it, attacking another enemy. Oops, now there's going to be 5 of them. I can't really deal with this much. Either I go super slow, just avoid them all, block as much as I can, and very slowly take them down, which just isn't fun. Or, I just got to get better at this, and it really just, there is nothing really pushing me to play again and again. And that's what I think is the biggest issue with this game, is it just didn't have me hooked wanting to play it again and again. Honestly, after the first few times that I died, I was having a little bit of fun with it, but then I realized, there's nothing really pushing me to play this again. There really wasn't. A lot of the environments look similar, the enemies, and I guess this is kind of a negative to the visuals. A lot of the enemies and you yourself, because it's so top down, you really can't distinguish what that person is. Like all you see for like me, for your own character, is basically just like a helmet and then some shoulders, and that's pretty much it. You don't see much kind of detail there, so it's not as interesting in that way. And the combat itself just isn't fun. What the combat is basically you go, it locks onto an enemy that you have there, and you have a block button, you have an attack button, and essentially you just have to block and attack the enemy. You only have 4 lives, basically 4 hits you can take, or you're going to die and you start over. I don't know, it just didn't hook me. They do have an ability basically where you hit the R button and it locks on, and it's basically it's kind of unique, it's kind of interesting, but again, they just need to flesh out everything else. But again, essentially you hit R button, you basically get locked onto that character. They have a bar around them that is their health bar, and basically you just can spin around that character like in close quarters, avoiding their attacks but also hitting with yours at a quicker pace. And that's good and all, but it is definitely tough trying to do that without getting killed yourself. And it just, I don't know, it just kind of ruins the whole feel of this kind of game. And like, if it was a little more like a Diablo type thing where you had more maneuverability, the combat was a little more in depth, the looting was a little better. That's another thing here. The menu system, I just didn't like that much either. It just wasn't as easy as it should be. It should be as easy as hit the plus button, see your menus, equip those, there you go. But this one, it's more of like hold the R button and you can choose this. The menus never really looked that great. I don't know, it's just, this game, it saddens me because this game had so much potential. When I first started it, I definitely was enjoying what I was playing. I enjoyed what I was seeing. I was looking forward to more, but you know, the more and more I played it, the more I just realized a lot of these faults here were something that could be fixed, and I'd like to see what My Next Games does next, but this one, just, I wouldn't recommend this one. If you're a big fan of roguelike games, maybe, but again, I'm a big fan, and I just did not enjoy this one that much. I could maybe say if you're a fan of like a Diablo-style game, maybe give this a try, but with the amount of other games that are roguelike and action RPGs, especially with Diablo 3 coming out soon, I just can't give my recommendation for this game right now. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Thank you, My Next Games, for the review copy. Again, I hope you guys, kind of take some of this and kind of learn from that and make the game a little bit better in either a sequel or in the next game down the line. Because again, it's very high quality. It's just some of the design decisions I just don't think were for the best. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.